So what happened last session is upon Alden suddenly going and apparently disappearing and just clothes collapsing. Felix was the first to react. Oh, well, the first to react actually was Sir Ross, who screamed out like, "What in the God's name?" or whatever. I don't know. Freaked out. And Felix came over and shook the clothes. It was just a little joke that Alden was pulling, because Alden does like to pull some jokes, or does some weird things. And all of a sudden, with some quick reaction times, y'all saw a very small thing that maybe was Alden, maybe not. You all couldn't tell in the moment, but you tried to catch it, but the reactions were not quick enough, even with a quick reflection over from Turlon. I was not able to catch the small Alden falling through the air, and because of just the small, not prepared to fall, 100 times their height, or not 100 times their height, like 20 times their height, fall to the ground. Alden, unfortunately, hit the ground too hard and did not survive. His body instantly becoming large, not wearing clothes, kind of bleeding from the mouth. Turlon was quick to start preparing the body, cover him up. Seemed quite calm, all things considered, where Sir Ross was freaking out a little bit at all the sudden events. It was a very confusing time, but the morticians came, started preparing Alden's body to be taken away, taking various possessions off of his body. You all found some books that were on Alden's body. One of them being, pretty interesting book. A couple of them being more just smutty sex novel books. And then you all also discovered these little red candy-looking things that y'all were confused by, but y'all got the vein breakers alchemist over to inspect, and she knew what they were right away. They were shrinking candies that are apparently found in the depths of caves throughout Sumia. Very rare. They try and synthesize them here because of how useful they are. But you just had a whole bag of them, like 40 of them. So you gave 2 to her, and now you each have, I forget what it was. I'll go back and look.
There were 38. I think we each got 12.
Yes, you each got 12.
For 36, over 312.
There we go. So you all got 32, or you each got 12 shrinking candies, which you all saw what they do. Apparently, Alden had put some in his food. It was not a conspiracy of some sort, and he shrunk down, not realizing what the effect of that would be in terms of his fragility. But afterwards, you all made some food. Sir Ross talked with Vita a little bit to say that they were going to likely send Alden's body off to the Costellos. Apparently, Alden was part of some family of magicians named the Costellos. But Vita and Sir Ross talked a little bit. Y'all talked some. And we ended the session with Sir Ross telling you all about the vein breakers. Why you all, even though it seems like maybe a small thing, or you can kind of understand it, you all killing Rayladon was a big help to him, because Rayladon was going against the code of the vein breakers to investigate matters, only kill those that are actually evil people after investigating, have done some heinous things, because Sir Ross revealed that he was part of the 10 cuts, which it appears that Turlon also was a part of, but he had 9 slashes, or 9 perpendicular cuts on his left arm, which is a lot, especially in a group that you'd imagine is called the 10 cuts, and having 9 is pretty high up there. But he said that he started the vein breakers after breaking from them before the era change, and been growing it ever since in 08. But he did he ended the session when we're going to kind of recap it since it's been a little bit, or we're going to like replay a little bit of it. He ended the session with talking about, well, you all are trying to stop the storm here in Oade, and he thinks he knows a way of getting you with an audience with the Ultra Priest. But anyway, the first thing that he's going to say is kind of a replay of last time. He's going to say, so Felix, I know that you don't want to be showing your face around here. You said that Vasir was kind of angry with you, threatened to erode you. That seems not good at all. Well, and you also, I'll say, you all also told him about Alcation and these various artifacts, and he said that was tremendously not good, that they've been using these ancient artifacts, and appears to have made the storm as well, so that's some pretty important information. But anyway, he says, I understand that Vasir is quite angry with you, so my first advice is I believe that you probably shouldn't go by Felix anywhere around here. Is there any other name that you want to go by?
I really don't care. I don't have like an alternate name. I didn't really get that far.
He kind of looks to the other two and he says, any suggestions?
Could take Alden. We're not using that one anymore.
Yeah, he is dad.
I was
That'd be
thinking
really
that
funny.
last week.
Actually,
I asked
yeah,
Uncle Brent.
that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, okay.
But would you do that in character though?
Yes, I'm saying this in character.
Looks over at Corpse.
He's dead. Like,
Corpse
no one's
is
gonna.
fine.
No
Felix
one's gonna
has
ask
cared
me
about
it.
death the
Corpse is-
least out of anybody.
Corpse has been moved.
Cannot stress how little this random wizard means to me. It means to my character. I'm sorry to say.
Alden the
We
Amazing
barely
is
knew
popular,
each other.
right? That's
I
Alden
must
the Amazing.
apologize.
Alden the Amazing. Sir
Yeah, and I
Ross,
knew him for like maybe a total of like a day or two, if you add all up the time.
This is like when the original comic book character dies, like the original superhero dies, and someone takes over.
New Flash.
Yeah, New
Yeah.
Flash.
Yeah, you gotta
Uh,
read
You're Wally West.
Paris back as the barb.
No.
His honor.
if you go with Alden, then Sir Ross will say, oh, well, that's a nice tribute. I guess you can go by
Sure.
Alden, easy to remember. And he'll say, but you all are interested in trying to stop this storm, yes, but, well, I know that I can, based off of how much I owe you, I know I could get an audience with a high priest, maybe even a superior priest within this city, but I don't think that is going to be of any help in terms of stopping the storm. If you're going to try and stop the storm, I'd recommend trying to get an audience with the Ultra Priest. Now, and he explained last time of how there's these various levels of priest throughout the city of Oade. And he said, what? I've never even seen this Ultra Priest. I don't even know what they look like. I know they preside within a tower on the west side of the city. But there is something that you could do in order to get their attention enough where you could get on their good side, and he kind of looks to you, Felix, he says, where even you, Alden, would not be mad at you, regardless of
starting
what
immediately?
Vasir said.
Yeah, that was so quick.
We're
too.
starting
I'm
Let's
like,
go!
immediately.
Let's go!
I'm like,
You
huh?
know who I. You already know who I am. No
What
one
did he
else is gonna
say?
rat me out.
Do you say that?
Yeah,
He
like
says,
you can
"What?"
call me Felix, Ross. Like we're alone.
He
It's
he
just
kind of puts
your vein breakers and us. Like I don't.
he puts
And
up,
Don't mean to be like.
Anyone who's had the small candy could be listed. You never know.
he
No,
puts up his
they're
hand.
not.
He says, "I understand. I understand that I know your name, Felix, but that's just something that only really us know. Everyone else within the vein breakers could be. I vetted them personally, but they could be even more
Alright.
larger
You're
supporters of
Alden now.
Vasir.
You bear the mark.
All right, yeah.
If you feel
Meet you, Alden.
Doesn't matter. Keep going. How do
Get
we
us out of
priests?
here.
Please, just please. How do we get the
He's-
priests?
He says, well, there's a contract that I think you all could complete for some coin. There's how about we go over to the contracts real quick? Come here. And he kind of stands
I'll
up
follow.
and he starts walking over to.
Game's paused. Oh,
Yeah, game's paused. He starts walking over, and as he's walking over, he kind of stops in the middle of like the lunchroom, and he says,
oh shit!
you
You
know,
juked me out.
this is just along the way. He kind of looks over his shoulder. And he says, "Oh, and in fact, John, why don't you come with as well?" And he kind of points over to one of the members of the Vein Breakers, and LaFleur, if you'd like to describe what they see.
Let's go!
John.
Go, yeah, coming, boss. And you look over at John, who, you know, at first glance was wearing normal Vein Breaker's outfit, but instead he is like a 6'2" knight wearing
Why
a
have I seen this?
bassinet
Why have I
helmet,
heard this before?
a bassinet hound hat helmet that's very dented. His cuirass is the logo of the Vein Breakers, but you can clearly see underneath that there's like a yellow one instead. Really no like armor, just kind of like black pant, like a black shirt with like kind of metal gloves, a belt, you know, pants, and you can hear chainmail sort of rustling below it, but that's about it.
That's good that he's got pants.
Have you talked about this before?
And leather boots. What?
I swear to God, I've heard of this concept of John with some knight helmet.
Don't know.
Okay.
May have talked about it before.
Maybe he
Maybe
appeared
talk
in a few other one shots. Maybe he wrestled a chimera at a certain point.
This
Took a blast.
Is this the same? I forget. Was that in the Sumia?
That was not in Sumia. No,
Okay,
that was an
okay.
He's a folk
Exandria.
hero. He
But,
kind of just
okay.
shows up, man.
So
kinda shows up.
multiversal variant.
Exactly. So
It's
we
a
have
universal constant.
I forgot about that.
you see John wearing this knight's helmet, this kind of armor. It's
Wait,
kind
was
of
that from my game?
uh,
Sorry.
This was
what-
the he first showed up in the one. It was me and Dylan played, and we were in a gladiator arena, and that's where Ronk showed
That's
up.
where we fought Ron.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then John showed up again when I think Bella was playing with us,
Yes.
and he jumped on a chimera, and it flew him into the side of a tower,
Yes.
and now he's here.
Now we're here. Now we're
I
here.
see.
in
Hi,
Sumia.
John.
Hi, John.
I'm just gonna pretend it's the same guy.
Hey,
He's
John, do you
somehow
want to
is
have one of these pink candies? They're very good.
No, I saw what happened to that guy. I'm not.
To
I'm not
the
eating
mission
that.
room. We are going.
Felix don't give a fuck about this guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Hi, John. Pleasure
I
to meet
do,
you.
so
Come with us to the
Hey.
mission room.
John.
Hey.
Contract room. Hi.
I look and I kind of inspect John. Can I exploit vulnerability on John?
Sure.
Exploit John,
John.
right now.
Exploiting John.
Sorry for what I'm about to do to you, John.
Do I make like any sort of notice of them staring at me?
I have to look at you pretty intently, so I'm not
Yeah.
even really trying to hide it. Like I'm not like staring at you like, but I am like clearly scoping
Staring at you like a creep.
Like-
As we're walking to the room, I assume we're
Mhm.
walking to the room while this is
Yes, while
happening.
we're walking. Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, hey, you can just ask. Like I don't, you can just ask.
I'll respond to that in a second. I am currently reading this because it's been a little bit. Yeah, so I make an esoteric lore check against the standard level of the standard DC for this level.
Where is John?
I'll
Which
make
one
my
is
estimate.
John?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
let
should
me-
you
let
change
me-
his icon
let-
really quickly?
Let
Yeah.
me do that.
Or
Let
is
me-
it give him a name or something?
All right, I got a 32 for my esoteric lore check.
Let me do something real quick. Sorry.
I see a room of 15 Johns and they're all looking at me talking.
Could be they're all talking in unison.
Do you see
Kind
his
of weird
name
we
now
didn't
next to
notice.
Turlon?
No.
Okay, let me. Do you see
Oh.
him now?
Yeah.
Okay, now let me update his picture real quick. 1 second. What was your esoterical lore check?
32.
How tall is John?
6'2",
6'2".
about that height,
Okay.
but kind of like not like super broad like a character from Marvel Rivals. Like he's kind of got slope shoulders, you know.
I remember him now.
Yeah.
One quick moment. I want it to be that picture that you just sent.
How does John have a pick before Felix does?
I don't want to draw like any. I don't want to draw anything. I don't want to just grab something from online.
It's better this way because I already have my mental image of Felix, and now it'll be
Mhm.
ruined no matter what I
It's
see.
like a book. As long as he
Yeah.
doesn't appear on a cover, I'll be fine.
Don't adapt him.
Mm-mm.
There we go. There we go. Almost.
Look into my eye.
This is Sumia.
Okay. Here we go. There we
Nice.
go. There's John.
There he is.
There's John. All right. You all start walking over, and you'll see that there are some Veinbreaker
Wait, do I got my
members.
check?
Yes, your check. You did. You critically succeeded on that check.
Okay. I would just learn. I remember the creature's weaknesses. I know all of any weaknesses, resistance, weakness, vulnerability, or immunities that John has.
John does not have any explicit of those things, but this is a big dude that you're seeing. Like he looks resistant to almost everything. He looks like he can really take a hit. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and look him up and down, and then he says you can just ask.
You can just ask.
And Turlon does a genuine like double take, like they're staring at you intently, like seemingly like focused, and then you say that, and they was like drop the focus. I'm sorry, ask what?
I don't know. You're just kind of staring at me. If you got a question or something, I don't mind.
Oh no, I did not have any question.
Oh, okay. I'm John. Just John. Anyway, you want to go over there?
I'm in the meeting room.
You wanna go over there?
I assume we were walking as we're talking.
Yes. Walking.
I just kind of like nod at you.
I'll say as you walk up, Sir Ross kind of shoos away some of the Veinbreakers members and said, "We have. I'd like you to leave real quick. Well, you can come right back, just 5 minutes." And the Veinbreakers members kind of just nod their head and they move away. But as you all come up, you can see along this wall look like these like billboard, like, you know, those cork boards that are on wheels, and it's just like this big board, and it has a whole bunch of papers pinned to it. And as you can see at the top, it kind of has on this big piece of paper, it just says contracts. So it looks like there's these two boards here. It looks like a whole bunch of contracts that you could look at. But Sir Ross walks up and he says, "Well, this is a contract that isn't for anybody's life. It's more of an investigation." And he kind of goes and he's like reaching up and he takes down these papers. And he says, "Well, the reason why I've asked you all to come over here and I asked the others to leave is, well, this is a contract that's been ongoing for the past couple of weeks, and honestly," and he kind of looks around, and I'll say, make a perception check, all four of you.
Starting off strong with an
Hell
8
yeah.
on the die.
Hell yeah, dude. As you're all looking at him, you all notice this. You all notice that he looks like, you know, his eyes are kind of sunken in. You can kind of tell based off of his eyebrows that he almost, it looks like he's concerned about this contract. It looks like, you know, it's been something that's kind of weighing heavily on his mind. And he says, "You know, I've shooed everyone away. Well, this has been ongoing for weeks, and some of my best members have tried to complete this contract, and they've come back and said that everything's fine." And he kind of looks to you all and he says, "But I know that it's not." And he kind of looks at the paper and he starts reading over it, and he takes a moment to read it, and he says, well, there are, in Oade, there's a district called Greenway. It's a little bit north of here, and it's a little bit of a nicer district. It's typically where there's a whole bunch of resorts, and there's nice, all the wealthy people like to live in Greenway. It's very high class and a little bit stuffy for my taste, but a lot of people go there. But recently, people
So as
have.
he says that, I just want to look around, because he said it's a bit stuffy for his taste, and I just the area we've been in is this area, their base. It's not exactly not nice though, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it's clean.
But is it like Joe? Like it's just clean, but it's simple. Because I feel like it's been described as pretty fancy. Does that almost I know it's a minute thing, but does it
Mm-hmm.
does that come off as a bit not thought out or a bit hypocritical because of how much this whole place is?
I'll
With
say
the
that.
teleportation room and the murals on the ground and the giant tables and the servants and the chefs and the 50 people flying around everywhere.
No, it
The
certainly
personal attendants
seems,
and all that.
in terms of what you all have seen, this place is pretty nice. Where you're at right now, it seems very clean. It seems like, not grungy at all. Maybe not opulent in terms of paintings and things like that. But certainly, this white stone, it's kind of colorful a little bit. And, obviously they had a whole spread of all these meals or of all these foods that you could have. So it certainly is kind of nice here. But so, yeah, it's something that I would say that, Erlon, especially you, since you thought of it, it would kind of strike you as odd. But it's, it is also in comparison, I will say, to the 10 Cuts, way nicer.
Sure.
He'll say, a bit stuffy for my taste, but, well, even so, there's been some people that have actually started going missing in Greenway. And he kind of looks to you all and he says, well, some is quite the understatement. There have been reports, and he does a big sigh, there's been reports of roughly around 250 people have gone missing throughout Greenway. A lot of them around the Greenway Resort, which is kind of the main resort that is within Greenway. And he's looking to you all and he says, and so of course this was a matter that the Veinbreakers would investigate. This is something that we've been trying for weeks, but the numbers just keep growing higher, and he kind of looks around to make sure that, he looks past you all to make sure that nobody's nearby, and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit, and he says, but even some of my best people have gone on these missions, or gone to investigate, and they've come back and they've said that nobody has gone missing. And he looks to you all, and he kind of pauses for a
Okay.
moment, and he says, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest.
So,
I've had,
what's your source? What's your source that people have gone missing?
he says, I've had family members, or he kind of nods at your question, Thurlon, and he says, I've had family members of these people that are very, well-known people come and ask where their loved ones are. It's, people from, maybe they just have family members that live within Greenway. This is a resort, so they come from all around, and they've come to me personally, and I've asked about it, and, and it looks like, even more so before, you could kind of just see a hint of how it's disturbing him. It looks like it's kind of weighing on him quite heavily as he's kind of thinking of these memories of, these family members coming to him and saying, do you, or saying, where are my family members? And he says, and I don't know how to answer them. It's not like maybe if it was one or two, maybe they just disappeared, but they've gone off somewhere and just didn't tell them, but and he nods his head, it's in the hundreds now.
But what about your people you send? They say no one's missing. What is their source on that? Have they seen the people, or do they tell you that and refuse to elaborate?
I don't. And he nods to you and he says, "That's just it. And he takes one of the piece of papers. And he kind of hands it to you, Turlon, and he kind of gestures to pass it around. He says, "I was able to get this page out of one of the journals of one of my most trusted members here at the Veinbreakers about their day while they went and investigated to see, and it's a little bit disturbing. And
Holding
I'll
that paper, I'm gonna walk up to Vita and Felix and show it to both of them, and I'm gonna mutter under my breath in Elvish, saying, "I wonder if they're scared to report back to him what they found." As I show the paper to the two of you, and I do try to hide
Yeah.
that from
Or maybe they
Sir
just
Ross.
forgot.
Well, I'm not like trying to whisper it so I know Sir Ross like, doesn't hear me, but I do say that quietly, very clearly, not to him. It's obvious
Yeah.
I'm speaking, but it's obvious I don't want to be heard by him when I mutter something. And I show the paper to them.
say, John, do you try and look at the piece of paper?
This Turlon fellow obviously doesn't want me to look at it, so I'm just not going to look at it.
Do you like lean in at all?
No.
Okay.
I would say so. Okay, this makes sense because we will probably figure this out. Why? Why are you sending this guy with us? Why we don't?
You point to
Literally the
John.
last Fanebreaker we met. Yeah,
He
try to
says,
kill all of us.
he
You
says,
trust him to succeed where the other one fails?
he
The other one
says,
failed?
he says, well, with your question, Turlon, about what I worry about what they, or I'll say that it seems like he did hear you, Turlon. He'll say, well, I will, to kind of bring to your point about, am I worried about what they would report back or if they don't want to report back? I don't trust my most senior members on this matter anymore. It seems like even they don't want to tell me the truth. I'm a little bit concerned, and his voice has gotten kind of quiet at this point, much lower than before. He's had kind of a boisterous voice, but it's gotten quieter as he goes on, and he says, I'm concerned that they're not telling it to me for a reason that they don't trust me or they're trying to conspire against me. I'm not entirely sure why they would want to do that, but I don't know why they have no information. And he looks to you, Vita, and he says, now, John here has just recently joined us within the past few days, and this has been going on for weeks, so I don't...
Oh.
He kind of looks to John, and he says, I trust him, and he kind of is staring at you, John, as he says this. He says, I trust him to not be part of whatever I worry is going on here, and he can assist you in terms of, well, he kind of tilts his head a bit. He says, he's incredibly strong. He's probably one of the strongest people I've really ever met.
How does John react to?
Yeah, how do you
like,
respond, John?
Well, I also meant just like on a I know if I need a roll perception check. Like, how does John like react like physically to hearing this guy say he's trusting? Like, are you like nodding your head like yeah, or do you just seem like this smug? Like,
Yeah, I kind of look over at you guys and I just go, yeah, I'm just a temp. I just kind of they just kind of picked me up recently, so yeah, I don't really
Same here, man.
I'm not really worried about it.
All right.
And then John says in Elvish, what were you guys talking about a second ago?
Oh shit!
I'm gonna nod. I'm gonna nod
Look
at you.
toward Turlon. Fuck.
I'm not really fluent, so I didn't really pick up on what you said, but it wasn't something important.
Can I pick up on the Elvish accent?
Make a perception check. But
yeah,
Shit.
I didn't realize I didn't give him a second language, so I thought it'd be really funny.
16.
I'll say John's voice is a little deep, which is certainly deeper than most Elvish people that you've met before. So it's kind of hard to pick up on an accent, but Elvish isn't that bad, at least what he said so far.
Since I guess too, so it's hard. Is it hard for me to tell whether or not it's a fluent language to him?
It is hard to tell right now. You haven't heard him speak enough in Elvish.
I will look to him, and I'll nod, and I will say, speaking in a different language in case anyone is listening.
Okay, I say in Elvish. Okay.
I'll say, I'll look at Felix and Tarla and say, do you guys know any other languages? Like do we know a third one? Just in
I
case
believe
this
I
guy
know.
I just know Common and Elvish, so
No,
No.
I'm not talking to you.
I know 2 others, but I don't think either of you will know them.
Just
Just
as
say some words, maybe I'll recognize it.
I will speak. I'll say in Wild Song, so like the
Okay.
language of the druids. I'll be like, so this is the language of my people. I don't think any of you are going to understand this.
I recognize that. I've heard that.
I
I'll
look at you.
continue saying in Wild Song. Well, what is it, John? Wait, hold on.
Well, I recognize it. I don't know it.
Oh, okay.
I do a
and
double
then-
take when you speak in Wild Song. I'm like almost
Give me
mystified
another
by
one.
it.
And then I'll begin speaking in Fey. I'll be like, and this is the what are Fey to? We've never actually talked about this, Stephen. Like, what are Fey to me?
Thank God we started at 6:30.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
God.
that's how it is.
Big
Get me
brain
out of
move.
this room.
Oh, you guys are so boring. Enjoy the lore. Enjoy
Two
the
sentences,
lore.
Stephen. 2
are
sentences about
so
my relation to
lame.
Fey. Like, how would I
Steven,
be
talk
related
about
to
as
them?
much as you want, Steven.
I'll say that your relation to Fae is
I don't know what Fae is.
within it's more of legends, I would say, that within your village and your teacher. It was more spoken of, these creatures that seemingly come from another realm that are not of the Sumayan world, but bear some resemblances and may even live, not even under the domain of what you now know, Datwa, who is the goddess of animals. They don't even live under her.
And then this is the language of the fairies, but I only really kind of learned it. Well, my mentor taught it to me as like a just in case, but I've never really gotten to use it.
What does the language of the fairies sound like?
La la la.
It sounds like
Shivers and sparkles.
no, the like cadence of it sounds like a poem, or like different various types of structured poems that have a specific beat to it. And the words are just whatever like type of gibberish shit you think a Fae would say.
Okay, well, looks like we
Like
might
I
as well
said.
just all speak common because
I'm gonna say to this guy in Elvish, did you catch any of those languages? I say to John.
No, I did not.
Is it coming through yet that he speaks his language a little strangely?
I think he's only like learned how to speak Elvish through like shonen and anime. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'll pull out the Elvish thesaurus and I'll say the following sentence, but like in the most roundabout way with like the weirdest word choices I can.
Well, all right then.
like the sentences, I don't know. The real sentence is like, "How are you?" or "Can you understand this?" But I'll be like, is this a language that with your young brain you may hear and understand the words of? But like, pull out all the different thesaurus words.
Doing to this guy. What's with the
I can
vocab
understand
quiz?
every word you just said, but I don't really know the exact words.
He's Rock Lee now.
All
How
right.
did this happen?
Okay, good to know.
I have a question for Sir Ross that I was asking for this chicanery. Okay, so we can probably figure this out, but how does this get us to an ultra priest? Are they in this resort?
The ultra priest.
He says, well, the priests within O8 take care very much about, one, keeping everything orderly within O8, making sure everything is accounted for, and people going missing, especially in one of the more touristy, high-income, wealthier parts of the city, is a large concern. It's starting to affect business even at the resort and nearby resorts. So it is stopping this issue. It almost seems, and he kind of looks down to the piece of paper, almost looks worse than just maybe a kidnapping or two. But it seems to be a big, or it would be a big concern to the leader of this city, or it would be a big help to the leader of this city, at least getting on their radar and at least getting a meeting with the Ultra Priest if you were to solve this problem.
Do we have the text of the letter to read now that chicanery is over? Or the diary entry, the journal entry, whatever you said it was.
I do not have it. I can send it later. Was not able to prepare that beforehand, but what I do have is just the vibes of it. And what I'll say is what it looks like to be a journal entry like you all have and have done, throughout your time at Sumia. It's like a daily activity. It looks to be a journal entry of a member, and they're speaking of visiting the resort to investigate a matter of missing persons. And you can see that it was dated probably about the date on it. I do have this. The date on it is 2184. And what I will say is this is just something I need to bring up. This is something I should have said at the beginning of the session, but things have been hectic. So every time I've set a date up until this point, I'm going to push it back 10 days. So what day it is right now, when you all think about what day it is it's day 2199, just so you know. The reason why I'm doing that will become obvious probably within the next hour, but there's a reason.
I already know.
Yeah, he already knows, but this guy knows. It's day 2199. Just moving it 10 days back. There's a reason for that. I'll put it in the description of all the videos. But anyway, this one says 2184 of Vidana, of the 37th era of Vidana. So this is dated probably around 13 days back, and you'll see that it's talking about visiting the resort, talking to the receptionist. There doesn't seem to be anything wrong. And I'll say one sentence is I was speaking, she seemed nervous, but maybe that was, or I was speaking to the receptionist, she seemed nervous. Maybe it had something to do with the stress of the day, or maybe it was, and then at that sentence, instead of, it's just normal handwriting across the page, taking up multiple lines of text, if you want to say that, it says, I'll just type it out.
Oh, this is not going to be good, is it?
This looks kind of bad.
And that was my last one.
And
it says in big uppercase sprawling letters, you see in the middle of the writing, "Oh gods, why are they smiling?"
Oh god, we're in smile too.
Oh god, why are they smiling?
And then the rest of the sentence goes on. It's like it goes right back to normal, as if it was just a normal writing, the same handwriting, and it continues writing about how it goes through it continues,
it's actually so awful.
Continues going through visiting other resorts, how there appears to be no one missing. In fact, there's a house nearby where supposedly someone was missing, but as soon as they go to the address, they go there, and it seems like that this address is not even the address of a building or anything like that, or an apartment complex. It's more of a commercial building where there's a whole bunch of shops there. So it's kind of just dismissed, and then they continue going, and they go to another resort that's nearby along the beach. Or not a resort, sorry. They go to this beach side, and they start asking people around and you'll see that, you know, it says that, oh, I was speaking with someone along the beach, and I'll write all this up later, so don't worry about it. But, you know, I was speaking with someone on the beach, and I went to, you know, speak to someone else, but I turned around. You know, they must, and they seemingly were no longer there. They must have just ran away, or maybe even, and then as soon as it ends, they're more in sprawling large letters, even larger this time. In capital letters, you see.
Oh, there's more. Awesome.
Maybe they stopped smiling.
Oh gods, they're not smiling.
Intently watching Stephen type.
Trying to watch his fingers and decipher it.
His APM
You'll
is
see it
crazy.
in 5 seconds.
He's got to figure it out early.
It says, I was joking, but that actually does suck. What?
It's a weird thing to say.
You see, how do they open so much? I hear the screaming.
Like analog horror.
And then it continues on that,
So
you know, they
this
talk
is
to
a
more
journal
people.
entry?
This is a
I'm gonna
journal entry.
I'm gonna like stop right. I know it's silly and unlikely, but I'm gonna check my journal. Little sanity check real quick. See if there's
Yeah.
anything weird in my journal that's been written lately about
Sure.
screaming and opening and all of that. Not trying to hide that. I just open up my journal and start looking through it.
So you turn on, start opening up their journal entries. Your journal entries look fine. No big sprawling letters.
Okay.
Speaking of screaming or smiling or anything like that.
I think we can handle this.
So Ross, I'll just look to like Felix and Vita for a second, and then back to Ross. Do we have your permission to talk to, interrogate if necessary, your men, including the one who might have written this? Do you have your blessing? Might help immensely.
He give me a society check, Trelawn.
Society 15.
I'll say, or no, it's not society. Sorry, diplomacy. Right. Like
Okay,
that's
so
the one
that was a 9 on the die plus 12 is 21.
Okay. I'll say, speak to. You can certainly do. I don't know about interrogate. I've already tried to speak to him himself, and unfortunately, if you take out the and he kind of looks at the page concerning bits, it seems like his story is exactly that. He went around and asked people about it, and there didn't appear to be anything out of the ordinary, except for the fact that he didn't see anyone was missing, which I know is to be the case. And to be honest with you, and he kind of looks to you all, and he says, to be honest with you all, I'm concerned to go over there myself to Greenway, because I don't, you know, he looks at the page and he says, I don't think that these are just kidnappings. There's something worse going on, and if I go there and I think that there's nothing wrong, then I don't know if anyone's ever going to solve it.
All right. I turn to the two of you and I say in Elvish, well, do you want to take this on? Goodbye its influence, and I must admit I find myself curious right now.
Oh, why not?
Yeah. It's our way in. We would have had to deal with this sooner or later.
I'll look to the two of them. I'll look back to Ross, and I'll just say, I'll nod. I'll look back to the two of them. Yeah, let's do it, I say in common. Do you have the name of the person who wrote this journal? I'd like to talk to them.
He says, yes, let me go and call for him. I think I saw him earlier, actually. It's It's one of our senior members, and he starts walking over. You can follow him if you want or not.
I'll say, let's take a moment to talk to this on our own.
Okay.
John, and I wave over to you. So
Hey.
while he's gone, we're talking about this. All right, what do we think is going on here? I think there's either a conspiracy by his men, or there's something much more sinister making them forget what they see.
It's most likely a monster of some kind.
Can I
A
roll
weird
like
Monster.
a
Yeah.
check to think about if I've overheard anybody voicing like immense like frustration with Sir Ross the last couple of days?
What do you mean? What, Vita?
I said, Felix. Well, while you're rolling,
I'm just confused as to why you're confused. I don't know what to say.
I didn't think
What do you want me to
monsters were
roll?
real.
It's like a. You correct me if I'm wrong, Steven. It's like a broad classification of really like fucked up things that don't normally fit into other groups. Remember those
Give me a
poison
society
wolves?
check.
Felix,
Alright.
do you know of anything? Have you heard of any encountered any
Poison
creatures
wolves,
like this?
yeah. Those are
Who
monsters.
would do this to you?
18.
Kind
Oh, it's not
Alright.
good. I
Monstrous.
look genuinely a little
Okay.
concerned when you say
of.
Generally, people like Sir Ross, I'll say, John. It seems to be that no one seems displeased. I'll say that there seems to be a displeased with the lack of contracts. That, apparently some of the members that have been here for a while seem to say there used to be a lot more contracts, but no one seems to dislike Sir Ross in any way.
I'd
your
kind of
experience.
report that to the rest of you, but like nobody really, hates Sir Ross here that I know of, but there's a little frustration with the lack of contracts.
The board does look pretty empty.
Yep, not as
Maybe
steady
a
as.
lot of bad things don't happen.
I look to John and I raise my eyebrows. Can we trust you?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm not going to try to perception check it. I just wanted to get his answer. All right.
Is there any do you guys have any? I don't know. There's some weird people here. I kind of was taken aback by Sir Ross. Do you guys got anything I need to know about? Anything crazy?
He looks scarier than he acts.
I mean, he's a
doesn't he?
killer.
Former killer. I look to Vita.
Technically, also does still kill people, but like it's just different about it now.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a scary one. We've all killed people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know more more about Ross than we do, John.
All right. I was just curious about you guys. Do you know that guy who died over there?
No is a
I
pretty.
didn't really know him.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Our paths crossed a couple times.
What, Dylan? Are they the police? Why is there blue flashing across your face?
I don't know why that's. No, there's nothing. I don't know why that's happening.
It's totally nothing. Don't even worry.
Dude,
Nothing, dude.
There's nothing outside my window right now.
Oh God,
Why are they smiling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
there's
Why are they
nothing outside the
smiling?
window.
Why are they smiling?
Dude, turn this thing off.
They turn it off and back on.
I can hear them screaming.
Steven, okay, maybe I got this wrong. Are when people talk about monsters in Sumia, are they just like ooh stuff that's not real, or is it like the fantasy?
Don't go off of what I say.
I'm not. No. I realize I don't actually know.
For you, Felix, they very much are
Very much
a thing.
Yeah, okay.
You have dealt with monsters, and you were part of the Tilky Forest. Nothing.
That's what I thought. That's
huge, but certainly existed.
You've never seen a monster before in your life, Dylan. Not one that you know's a monster. Sorry.
I don't think so.
Felix, brings up the wolves, and those were pretty not cool. So maybe those are monsters, but everything else you've encountered has seemed pretty normal. Maybe that shadow thing that was like
a dragon
protecting. Yeah,
with my
whole dragon, stuff like that.
With my whole thing being cutting off weird animals' body parts and use them as esoterica to fight other things later. That's just how I get all my esoterica. You don't know that, but that's how I get all my esoterica.
Did you what?
Reminder that my giant purple coat is full of jars and fermented shit
weird.
and all sorts of things. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
You're just a fur trapper.
Let's say, have I encountered creatures? I mean, since my first reaction to it is hearing like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." Then Felix says, "No, I see creatures who do things like this." So now I'm thinking, well, shit. Do I know? Have I heard of any creatures that act this way? That cause memory loss? Whose something opens so much? Like I don't like. I'm just like thinking
Yeah.
back to all that.
I'd also
Good.
like to make a roll to know what type of critter does that.
Yes. I'll
Critter
say.
check.
I'll say.
I'm not.
I'll say for you, Felix.
Vita
give
stays in
me
his lane.
a nature
Yep.
check, but Turlon, you give me an occultism check.
Yup. I'm gonna
Have
roll.
I
I'm gonna use the bathroom while you buffer this check.
have I fought anything that's ever, given me memory loss?
You've been hit in the head a couple times.
I don't think a concussion counts.
No, but
That's
I'll
a
say,
monster in its own right.
TTE.
yeah, true that. Yeah, I'll say that you have not fought any beast that has like mind fucked you.
Well, if we find one, I'm just giving out a PSA. I've come upon some knowledge that if we ever encounter something that we think may be hiding, let me handle it.
Okay.
Hiding?
That's right.
That will probably be useful because I
All right.
doubt these things are going to be just walking around.
I've been waiting for this, so just let me handle it.
All right.
So so I'm pointing at people, all of you now. And I'm going, sorry to get sidetracked. You're guy with the eye patch. What's your name?
Vita.
Vita. And then I point to Felix or Alden.
My real name is Felix.
Okay.
But you need to call me Alden
Alden.
until further notice, pretty much.
What was
Just
that?
call me Alden.
That was a monster.
That was your coworker Jim sneezing just outside.
Okay. He's got a cold.
He's talking
Alright.
with Jason
Why
right
is
now.
there-
So
Everyone here
Alden
have
in
normal
public,
names.
Felix in private.
J names.
Yeah.
Alden was the guy that just died somehow. And then the
Yeah.
other person is Turlon.
Uh-huh.
But
All
don't
right.
say Alden that much either, because we're pretty sure people also probably wanted him dead.
Why?
We don't really know.
We don't know.
Okay. Not my problem.
Yeah. It's hardly our problem.
And now it's
Either.
our problem.
I mean, I guess it is now, but
So should you go by Alden then? Because it feels like
Well-
a name that has some baggage to it.
I mean, but people also
It's less baggage compared to Felix here.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus,
Your
they also
choice,
kind of
man.
know that Alden is supposed to be with this group.
I
So maybe they'll be
Right.
confused and be like, well, Felix isn't here.
All right.
Welcome back, Kevin.
I'll say based off of y'all's roles. In terms of strange beasts that Felix you've ever come upon, nothing natural kind of fucks with the head, but you have encountered various herbs and things like that. So not even just animals, but just plants and poisons and things of that nature that essentially, will either knock you out or will make you hallucinate or, will kind of drive you mad. And in terms of some scribblings like you've seen in that journal, you have seen something like that where, maybe some people have eaten the wrong food, eaten the wrong plant, and they've kind of been driven mad. But certainly nothing ever as stark as just writing normally and then scribbling madness and then writing normally and thinking that's like a normal thing. So you've never encountered that. I'll say Turlon, in terms of any of the esoterica and these strange creatures that you've just happened upon, there have been some smaller creatures, like, little tiny things. I don't have the name for them. I'll come up with a name for them later. But I'll say it does not warrant the name list. It warrants something more important. I'll say that there's been smaller creatures that have been used at the 10 Cuts that would kind of mind wipe people to a certain extent, kind of eat away at their brains a little bit. So I'll say that you've encountered small creatures that kind of mess with the head in that way, but again, nothing that would make someone write like this so starkly.
All right. Cool. Great.
Great.
Okay.
What
Well,
is? You go ahead.
no, what were you saying?
No, it wasn't anything related.
Okay.
This was
Yeah, I look back to the three of them. Like, I can't think of anything to do this. I think we're going to need to do our own independent research between the three of us. And I look to John, like, kind of like I'm doubting that it is the three of us. But I look back to you guys. I think we need to do our own independent research. I don't think we can trust Sir Ross. I don't want to distrust him, but I think we need to verify everything on our own before we go to that resort. Verify that people are disappearing, verify how many if we can, verify that the people who he says are saying no one has disappeared are saying no one has disappeared. I think we should verify all of these things on our own and research the history of that area before we go anywhere near it and be very prepared.
Sounds good idea to me.
Maybe.
Well, I suppose right about now he's probably getting back, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. I'll say that Sir Ross starts walking back with one of a Veinbreaker's member, once again wearing kind of these simpler clothes, but I'll say along these, you can see along the trim, kind of has this this gold lining that kind of you haven't seen before in all of the other Veinbreaker members. So it kind of is a very subtle way of distinguishing that this person is probably a little bit higher. And Sir Ross is just kind of talking with him as he comes up, and he says, "Well, I would like to introduce you four. Well, I mean, John, you've already met, but I'd like to introduce you to my friends here. They help with the whole Raylodon situation. This is," and he kind of points to the three of you, and he says, "This is Vita, this is Alden, and this is Turlon." And the person to the next to him, you can see, is kind of like a 5'10". He's also an elf, and I'll say that he kind of has this a little bit darker skin than you're used to. It's most elves are kind of pale, a little bit of a darker brownish skin, and he's looking to you all, and he says, "Well, hello everyone," and he kind of has this very calm demeanor about him. Sir Ross is very, kind of uppity, and he kind of just has this simple tone about him. And he says, I'm Sorath. Nice to meet you all."
I'm gonna put my hand up. I'm trying to Sir Ross. But can we conduct this conversation without you?
Sir Ross kind of nods his head and he says, "Absolutely. Just wanted to do some introductions." And he kind of starts walking away.
Thank you. I make sure the doors or whatever all closed and everything.
This is a very open.
I'm not going to beat this guy up. I swear.
There's the door. There are no doors in this place, but you are alone in this court.
Okay.
What was his name again? I forgot it immediately.
Sorath.
Sorath. Okay. Okay, Sorath. So you were the one that was the most recently sent out on this contract, right? You're the one that wrote that journal entry?
And he looks at it.
I'm going to hold it up to him. Don't let him take it. I don't let him take it. I hold on to it, but I hold it up to him.
I will say, I'm going to rewind just a second. You can do entirely the same things if you want, but I will say that Sir Ross said that he got a hold of this journal entry and it wasn't given to him by
I know.
Sorath. So you're just showing it to him. Okay.
I would certainly be amenable to the team telling me they don't want me to do that. I am showing it, and I will take the fall.
Yeah, no, I mean, we need to talk to him about this anyway.
Yeah.
I feel right. Like we gotta know what he thinks happened.
Okay.
I'm showing him the journal, and I know that I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, just making sure that that is fully what you want to do. He says, I don't think I'm the most recent one, and then he kind of reaches, or he kind of just looks at the journal entry, and he says, how did you get a hold of that? And he kind of goes into his bag real quick, and he starts.
It's a really long story, to be completely
telling.
honest with you.
I'm just gonna. Oh, sorry.
It's a long story. We've been going through a lot. We didn't take anything else. But yeah, did you write this? I assume so, because you looked like you had lost something when you saw it.
Yeah, you wrote this.
We know that you wrote this.
Yeah.
We're concerned about the text in the middle of it.
He says, yes, I did write it. I'm not going to lie to you about it, but why? I'm still concerned about how you all got it. I can't just brush that off. This is my journal.
I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to say, completely lying, on my own impulse to help Soros, I chose to steal it. Sorry. I chose to steal it to investigate this because we were concerned that you were saying there was no one missing when we know people are missing. And we find this text in the middle of it to be particularly suspicious. I'm sorry for stealing it from you, but this is a matter of utmost importance.
And you're like kind of holding it up so you can see it.
I'll totally whip it away if he tries to take it, but yeah, I'm holding it to him like that.
Well, he's going to try and take it. You just whip it away.
Yeah.
He says, can I please have it?
We'll give it back to you, but we need to figure out what you know about this first.
Well, I can't read it from this distance. I'd like to see it up close.
Just give it back to him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
take him.
What's the? I'm going to give it back. I'm just trying to look at the layout of the room. You said we're just in the corner.
I mean, this is a giant sand pit right in front. This is a big sand pit where there's just things. There's these tables next to you, and there's the
you're in a giant
things in
sand
the back.
pit.
But there's not a lot happening in this room, but it's a big room.
It's just a sand pit, man. What do you want from me?
He's just kind of standing in the middle.
I'll hand it to him.
Read it.
And he starts reading it, and he says, and he's kind of shaking. He says, I don't remember writing this. How? And he kind of looks to you all, and he says, what did? He says, I'll say this. He'd say this first. His first reaction. He says, did you all write this at all? You found it this way.
Whose handwriting is it?
He'll say, I don't write like this. I guess it's mine, but
if someone was going to add this in after the fact, you would have had to have added this 3-line space in the middle. Do you do that normally in your journal entries? Random perfect 3-line spaces like this? In the middle of paragraphs?
He puts his hand up and he says, I really don't like the tone that you're all taking with me. I'm just trying to help out.
Yeah, sorry.
Turlon,
chill the fuck out.
He's kind of looking specifically you at Turlon and Vita. He says, like, I'm just trying to help out. I'm just as confused as you are, it seems like. And he's looking at it and he's saying, smiling, screaming, I don't really understand what this, and he says, and he takes out his other journal. He has it kind of in his hand when he was looking at it before. And he's kind of going through it. And he sees, and he's like, well, none of my, and he kind of sees in the page where he would have written this journal, he can see that, you can all see that there's just a clear tear, right? Like it was just kind of torn out of this book. He says, well, none of my other entries are like this. Where you said that people are missing. When I spoke with everyone, there's appeared to be nothing wrong. Just like I wrote here. How do you know that people are missing?
Well, for starters, you don't remember writing this. Okay. Look, we really appreciate your help. We do. It's just a bit of a tense situation. We think that whatever is like going on has something to do that affects people's memories or like perception of reality. So we're just trying to figure out what it is that you saw. so that we can be informed. So you said you didn't find anything at all, and you don't remember writing these 2 sections.
Do you remember why you were sent? You must have gone there because you thought someone was missing at some point.
Yeah, and he says, yes, just like the contract says, there have been people missing. I followed some leads, just like I normally do. There's one, I don't remember the names, and he kind of points at the contract that I met, if you're holding or not, but he just kind of points to the board. If not, he says, there were names on there to go and investigate these people that, were pretty high, of high importance, somewhere, not exactly here in 08, but just were visiting the resort. And I remember I went to the, is it called a concierge desk? Or like, I went to,
concierge.
I went to the concierge desk and I asked for their records, and there was no records of any of the people that said that were stayed there, which was quite interesting. No records, even asked some of the patrons who had been there for some time if they had met any of these people. They didn't know, and he kind of is looking up like he's thinking, I went, there was another resort, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, and it seems like, give me a perception check, all of you, quick.
Okay.
Oh.
Above a 10 challenge. Yo.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Say that.
And boning.
I'll say that, Felix, you notice that as he's saying it, it looks like he's just trying to remember it, but there's this kind of faltering in it that it almost seems like there are things that he should be remembering that he's not remembering in terms of like the resorts that he visited or the things that he's doing. He seems to be very vague with his words. I'll notice that. It seems like he's trying to say specifics. I'll put it this way. He's trying to say specifics. He's not finding them. And then he's just saying general things. Like,
how about this?
Instead of just saying like, oh, I went to this resort, for example, he says, oh, I went to another resort.
Yeah.
Right.
What if, so we've got that journal entry that he has.
Like,
Can
yes,
you
I know.
tell us,
Mm-hmm.
can we decipher what he was doing in like the paragraph right before the first scary message? Maybe if we retrace the steps, we go to the same place or we talk to the same person. Because you were alone, right?
He says,
So-
yeah, I was alone. This was, and it looks like, and he kind of opens it. He says, or he's looking at it. He says, it looks like the first time I wrote this is when I went to the main desk within the Greenway Resort. And
Okay,
the
at the
second
main desk.
message, he says the second one is when I was on the beach. I was trying to speak with someone. I turned away, and then they weren't there anymore. And that's when the other message was. He says, that is, he says, I know that other people have gone on this contract. I'm not entirely sure who, and he kind of is giving that same look that Felix, you noticed, in terms of like,
Literally.
he's trying to I'll say he's giving that same look where it looks like he's trying to remember something and he's just not coming up with it. He says, well, I know other people have gone on. Have you talked to them at all? Have you seen any of their journals? Maybe there's, I thought I was in agreement with the others that there wasn't anybody missing.
You are. The only reason we asked for you is because we have your journal that has the scary text in it.
So, is there any way you can, well, I don't know if, I guess you could, he kind of looks to you, Turtle, and he says, steal it, I guess, from the others, but you may be able to ask, especially I could maybe put in a word in, see if you could get these other entries, see if there's other weird things going on.
That'd be perfect, actually. if you and Ross could do that. Actually, we don't really need to keep Ross outside anymore, do we? I mean,
No, I above board. I wanted him out so that if there was any shenanigans, we'd be comfortable hearing it. But it seems pretty clear they are not.
Thank you.
welcome. It's
Shenanigans. Thank you.
No, him showing us that fucking squish thing.
Oh, thank you.
And I am going to say, under my breath, as you guys are going back. Gosh, I don't know how to play this. Above board, I said I stole it, so it didn't put blame on you guys, or put blame on Ross. But now, also above board, if I say don't tell Ross I stole it, he's just gonna tell Ross, and it's gonna.
Don't worry about
Ross
it.
cares.
I don't think Ross is gonna give a shit.
I think he might give a little bit of a shit.
He's so
He
powerful.
He
could kill us
needs
all.
us. He needs us.
He knows we're lying all the time anyway.
Okay.
You guys are lying all the time?
No, we're not.
Not well. Starting now, we're not. But before that,
We weren't
I don't
before.
believe you.
We weren't before.
Starting now.
God.
I just don't believe you.
Okay.
But okay.
I forgot this guy was on.
I look over at his name was Sarath.
Sir Ross.
No, the other guy.
No,
Sarath.
Oh,
Sarath.
yes, Sarath, yeah. I just now realized it's very close. It is very close. I wasn't trying to do
And
that.
there's a wolf running around here named Sarash. But I look over at Sarath and I'm like, I got a question for you. You know me, I'm John.
Yeah.
Do you remember any weird rumors going around while you were at the resort? Any like gossip among the patrons? If you talked to anybody?
Give me a perception check, John.
Big pustule.
You specifically, John.
All right. Oof.
I'll say that it looks like he's looking up, and when you ask him this question, there's almost an element of, I gotta think about how to put this. You can kind of tell in his eyes that it looks like he's not believing what he's saying when he says it, but he's going to look at you and he's going to say, no, I don't think there was any rumors at all. I don't remember anything in specific. It seemed like everybody was having a good time there.
Okay. You don't seem really confident in that answer.
He says, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not, but I don't remember anything about that day. And it's, and he kind of is looking to the four of you now. He says, it's kind of concerning, honestly, that I'm pretty quick-witted about things. I normally know things about past missions. I can remember it, but now that you all are mentioning it, I'm, it kind of takes a deep breath.
You didn't say
I'm concerned.
The vein breakers that day, did you? I know it's hard to remember.
He says, no, it was kind of a solo thing. I spent the night at the resort to see if anything was happening at night. I don't remember anything. I kind of spent the day alone trying to investigate.
This happened how many days ago? So it was 10 days ago? Or
this was
like
14 days ago.
14?
Yeah, 13 days, yeah.
13. I look at him again. I go, you look pretty fit. Do you have anything on your body that you have now that you didn't have going, before going there? Like any marks, scars?
He says,
Did you come back with any wounds you don't remember getting?
He says, no, I haven't noticed anything in the past, 10 days, that any marks or anything like that. Nothing out of the ordinary.
All right. Well, when you're in the showers later, just do a double check.
He nods his head and he says, I'll do that. Thank you.
I guess we should just go.
And
these guys aren't gonna remember.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder, like kind of put pressure onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And say, you should probably keep this on the down low. There's something going on here, man.
I'll say,
John.
give me a perception check, the other three of you, and give me an intimidation check for me, John.
Shit.
Shit.
Hang on, I have something to do with intimidation. Hang on.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just
Something
okay.
like
It's
that.
just intimidating glare. That's fine. Okay, intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it
Nat
means you don't
one.
actually have to say anything intimidating.
Yeah, if you don't want to.
More the physical presence of it all.
Yes, I'll say that you all notice, John, or I'll say you can see that your Soroth is kind of looks down at your shoulder, and the three of you see this, and almost instantaneously you can kind of see that there's a little bit of just beads of sweat on the top of his head. I say, Vita, you won't see this just from the angle that you're looking at, but I'll say that Terlon and Felix, you see that there's just a little bit of beads of sweat that start to go down Sorolash's face, and he kind of pats your hand, John. He says, you're right about that. I'll just keep it on the down low. And he kind of just starts walking away.
I hate to see him get killed. I just don't like it.
No, it's fair. I think, okay. I think what we could get from Sir Ross can still be helpful with this. Because it's all at a single resort. Like, there's like a single resort campus, it sounds like. Right, Steven?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We could see if Ross could get us a list of all the people that have been there. I'd like as far back as we can go. And also, if he could get us, like, a room there. Because we're going to need to get in somehow. And I don't think I have enough money. Sorry, I know I do not have enough money to do that. Sound like a plan?
I think
Then we
can
just kind of go from there.
definitely
Like, we do have to do research, but like we ask Ross where the best place
I
to go
think
for
he's
that
probably
is.
the only other person, that can help us.
I think we should do a research about that place before getting the room, but I agree with everything else, yes.
I mean, we're not going to go there immediately. We just got to get it for like the next couple days.
If Ross can afford a room for a couple days for us, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did that Alden guy have any cash on him that you guys can use?
Definitely not.
Absolutely not. He had berries, and that's about
You
it.
didn't check for gold? That's like usually the first thing you do when you rob
He
a body.
had a pocket.
We went to
in
check
his
robbing
robe.
his body. I have this
Yeah.
coin. I hold up Alden's coin that he got from James, but I don't think it's a legal tender.
Is this corpse still in the room?
No,
There's no way.
it's been
There's
moved.
absolutely no
It's
way.
been
Oh,
moved, yeah.
Yeah. Alden had like 250 gold on him.
We can just say that we had that then.
Yeah. I think
I mean, we looted him.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Y'all didn't loot everything, but yes.
Oh,
You can
He
have
hit
the
something
gold.
in his cavities.
almost funnier that we lost the gold.
That'd be
No,
better.
you all
That's the
have
cost of getting rid of him.
That'd be crazy. All right,
But
are
yeah.
you all going to Sir Ross? Try
Yeah,
and get some rooms.
We bring
Well,
back here. Right?
Yeah.
We'd be like, hey, come back.
yeah.
So
Hey,
we
come
just we need like the best place in Awade, in his opinion, to like research stuff. Like it's because like it has to be magic. So like magic spells, magic creatures.
Well, I'd also like to ask where we can get research. I agree with all that, but also we should learn where we can research about the history of this place.
That
itself,
also.
And who, if it has any enemies, I suppose.
And also the guest lists of like, yeah.
I think that notable family or whoever, that's the most important name.
Yeah,
to learn.
that'll be helpful. And then the eventual rooms. I'll just tell them that we need that and then go from there.
All right, yeah. I don't think that needs to be role played out. I will say I'll say that Sir Roth did not say anything to Sir Ross. He kind of walked into a different direction. But I'll say, is there anything that y'all want to say specifically to Sir Ross, because I'll say he'll just agree to everything like y'all are saying. Like, yeah, he can definitely pull a favor and get you all rooms at the Greenway Resort, where it seems like all these things are happening. But he can, I'll tell you momentarily where these kind of places that you're asking for would be, and he can also give you the list.
I'm also, I don't really know fully what like the whole 9 cuts means, but it's like that's a scary man. So I can probably the information's probably safe with him.
Do you want to know what 9 cuts is? I think I
Not
would
really. Not really, says Felix. We'll tell Ross that it's like, yes, so Saroth doesn't remember writing those alarming entries. He did tell us what he was doing immediately before he wrote those, or like what he was doing. But it doesn't. He said that the first one was before he went to like the concierge desk, and the second was when he was about to speak to somebody on the beach. So useful, but I don't really think it's. He was also trying like really, really hard to recall something that just wasn't there anymore. So I don't think he did anything like malicious. I don't think he's lying to you.
He says,
So
well, I
don't think any of
appreciate you
your
all
people
talking
are
to
blame.
Yeah, he says, I appreciate you all talking to him. I was, after, I talked to the first one who came by, or the first one who investigated the contract, and I thought, I'll send a second person, just because it was only a few people at that point. But as I said, this has been going on for dozens of days now, and it's only gotten worse. So I was scared to talk to them myself in the out of fear that it would start something larger. But it's good to hear that he wasn't himself when he wrote those things, but it's also very bad to hear that. And he kind of looks to the 4 of you and he says, if you all are intending to do this, I would try and take every precaution you can in order to keep your memories clean. I would try and write everything down. I don't know what you're going to be running into, but I do think that he looks to the 4 of you and says, I think you all are quite capable of doing it.
Thank you.
Won't let you down, boss.
Yeah.
All right. Then do you all want to head out? One thing Sir Ross will say is he'll say, do you all need any supplies before you go? You are welcome to any of the supplies here. We have some gear. We have some weapons. I think you all are probably already fastened with some of those, but we have some potions, things like that. Anything that you all would like?
Take some potions.
Got any potions of mind shielding or some shit like that?
I have a journal and a pen. I've never written anything down.
He looks to you and he says,
Ever.
"Oh, you want just a journal?"
Yeah, I mean, you said write our stuff down. I don't have any paper.
Oh, yeah, we can absolutely get you some paper and a pen and everything like that, so you can write all these things down like you're saying. Okay.
Vita just said, I don't have a cell.
Nope.
I will say that in terms of some health potions, you all, I can give these to you while we're doing other things, but you all get some health potions. I'll say 2 of the lower ones and then 1 of the next level up for each of you, and I'll give you each of those.
We need like a community chest. Group
I don't
storage.
support communism.
Then you will die underfoot, and I don't know what to tell you.
You will not last in our group.
You shall be replaced.
All right. Do you all want to head out?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'll say that Sir Ross gives you or wishes you all luck. You all move to the center of the room once again, and one of the members again traces down on the symbol along the ground, traces along their finger, and the central circular platform starts to move up. And instead of stopping at that transportation kind of room that you all had experienced before, it continues up until all the way up until you are. It kind of just stops, and it's just as if there was just walls around you, as if you're just in the dark for just a moment. But then above you, it seems like these just two panes just open up. And as you come up on the ground, you are now flat with a large, wide open square. So I'm going to activate the Oade map. I was going to have some art for this, but again, like I said, lots of things are very hectic. But first off, one second. So I will pinpoint. So this is the map of Oade that you all are at. If you zoom in on the central hub, that is all the way in the kind of the middle left. Do you all see where the central hub is?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm muted. Yes, I do see it.
Okay, gotcha. Just making sure. All right. So just so you know, every square here, just for the sense of scale, is about 250 feet, which you can kind of think of more of like a football field. So in terms of where you are right now, as you start to come up, you are in a gigantic, just flat space that is all that same white stone that you were seeing. Within, you now see that there is, just across the entire floor, as the circle comes up, it kind of becomes smooth with the ground. And the vein breakers member kind of gestures for you all to step off. But I'll say, from a visual perspective, as you come up into the central hub, distinctly around you all, just in your immediate vicinity, like I said, is just flat and white. And there are lots of people, probably hundreds of people, just milling around in the distance and walking around. There doesn't appear to be any central area that you can see right now where, like streets or anything. It's just this large hub area, and you can see that there are tents set up everywhere, small little structures that are kind of larger than others, but just tents and vendors. It's all of a sudden, from kind of the serenity of the vein breakers area, you can now see that there are just lots of people shouting of every kind of ancestry. It doesn't seem like a very everyone's dressed in very different garb, but most of the garb is very loose, because as you all come up, you all notice that you are not within a storm, but instead you are within the hot sun of the desert. So as soon as you get up, it is getting quite hot. It's probably around 80 degrees outside. And it is bright and sunny, and you can imagine it's almost a little bit blinding as the sunlight is reflecting off of this almost perfectly white stone all around. It's surprisingly not dirty. But I'll say, just for your immediate vicinity, all around you, you're seeing this. But then distinctly, just past all these huts, as soon as you look up, instead of where there would normally be either sky, you instead do not really see sky for probably about 1,000 feet, or 2,000-3,000 feet around you. You see that there are these gigantic, to call them vines is an understatement. It is these large, thick, just green, 1,000-foot wide just vines that are shooting into the air hundreds of feet up. The only reason that you are within the sun right now is it appears that there's like a clearing of these things that's to the east and to the west, where there's not a lot. But you'd imagine if you were in between these gigantic vines, the sun would be fully blocked, and it's kind of darker in these areas. But on these vines, there's these large leaves that are sticking out just periodically across it, and you can see just in the distance there's these small little like wooden structures and things that are connecting the leaves. And as your eyes kind of focus on at least one of the leaves, you can see that it's not just leaves. It looks like there's people on top of them, maybe even little structures, little buildings. It appears like these vines that are around you are massive, but it seems like they're actually livable. There are things on them. It's not like it's just plants, but it looks like they are the buildings themselves, because you do not see skyscrapers. You don't see tall buildings besides these little tents that are around you. You just see these vines. And the very last thing I'll say is you can see in the distance, once again, these are all very far away, in the distance to your west and to your southeast, you see these towers made out of this almost orange glass that is shining in the sunlight. It looks like these towers are maybe like, I don't know, like 500 feet tall, much shorter than the vines as they go up, but still very tremendously tall. Like, it's tall, kind of like, think like the Washington Monument in the distance, just sticking up. And they are, it's completely made out of orange glass, and it appears to be pointy. So that is what you see as soon as you enter 08. It's completely different.
Orange glass.
Completely different than what you have seen probably ever anywhere for all of you. You have not seen it like this. John, you have seen it, of course, but even coming up, it is a very stark difference to, kind of the inside and the serenity and just kind of quietness, or just general talking within the Veinebreakers hub. But you are gestured to walk off of the platform, and as it slowly descends back down with the Veinebreakers member, the ground closes up, and you are now within the middle of this hub.
Where's the resort?
We've really been in like total darkness for like 4 days, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sucks.
Okay. Where's the resort?
I think it's to the north, based on what Ross was saying. Also, place to study. Library with information. Did Ross give us that?
Yes. Yes, he did. Let me, real quick. Sumia Square. I'm gonna just send some crowd noise just so y'all can kind of get into the ambience of where you all kind of are right now. I will say that in terms of the information that you got, you learned about the archives is probably a place to go if you just want to learn anything about anything. The archives is one of the vines that's kind of to the eastern side, or to the western side. I'll say it's near the Tower of the Vizier Ultra. If you want to know where it is in terms of a library, a place to go. In terms of where the resort is, it's directly north of where you are at, which is at the Greenway Resort. It's right on the beach of the Sea of Replenishment. And was there something else? There's one other thing where you can kind of just learn about this place, right?
I think we'd asked about like both the monster and like Greenway. Where to learn about that?
History of the city.
Yeah, he would probably say the archives are a good place for that, but he does know that there's a museum that's at the Tower of the Vizier Ultra that is on the first floor. It's kind of open to the public and maybe talks a little bit more about Oade and
we love
its
museums
history.
Here. We love museums in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you guys want to go to the... You go ahead.
No, I was going to say the same thing.
In-game museum, out-of-game bathroom.
Just going to say, like, how long would it take us to get there?
Oh, yeah. Like, what time of day is it, too?
And these are all football fields and squares. I don't know if this would take days for us to cross.
It is, I'll say that, do you think you all would have asked to see how you would get to these places?
Yeah.
Well...
Yeah.
That's a natural question.
Well, I'll say actually, I'll say, John, you would know this. You know that instead of streets within 08, there's actually shifting sands that you kind of stand within or sit within, and they kind of carry you various places, kind of one direction. So you don't have to walk everywhere, but it still can be a little bit to get places to places.
I say that. Well, you don't walk. You take the sand.
Oh,
Uh,
is that faster than walking?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
also, is this map to scale, Steven?
It is.
Oh, yeah, that's like half a mile. It's like 33,000 feet from where we are.
That's not half a mile.
That is not half a mile.
That
what
is-
am I doing then?
That's about
No,
I think
whoops.
you're off by a factor
zero.
of 10.
Yeah.
32,000. Yeah.
6
Okay.
miles.
6 miles.
That's around 6 miles.
6 miles is fine.
Which again, yeah,
Okay.
like you can walk. But I'll
We
say
can
in
do
terms
that.
of the time of day, it's like
Mm.
1, 2 p.m. Almost in the afternoon.
Fine.
Well, how about we go to the museum?
Mm-hmm.
Then
Right.
For sleep, we go maybe check in at a inn nearby one of these hotels, or
We could do the hotel by the resort.
That's probably a bad idea. Because
Oh.
that's where people are going missing.
Yeah, we don't want to be in the same area. I mean, not too far
Alright.
away, certainly, but
I mean, we're going to stay there eventually, but for now, we need to stay somewhere that's definitely safe. So,
Yeah.
what brought you to the Veinbreakers, John?
oh, they just picked me up. I was
like
just
off
kind
the
of
street?
well, above board. I don't have a reason, but
You heard about it.
I'll make something up. Yeah. I just
You
kind of heard about them. They were looking for strong recruits. Thought it'd be a good way to, kind of beef up a little bit in the meantime. So I
Cool.
was making my way here anyway. So
Oh, yeah. Well,
Well,
happy to
show
have
us
you.
how to ride this sand, man.
yeah.
all right, yeah,
do we
follow
do?
me. And then,
Where are you all heading?
we're going to the
Museum.
museum.
Okay. As you all start to kind of walk to the south a little bit from your current location, you run along this giant brown road that is quite a long distance, and I'll say it's almost kind of like Frogger in a bit in terms of there are just tons of kind of carts and vans, some people walking, but it's mostly the larger things that appears like you wouldn't be able to put in the sand that are just traveling, and it looks like this road just from east to west just keeps going. It doesn't seem like it turns or deviates in any direction just for your entire like horizon. It's like kind of being like on those like looking down an avenue in Manhattan, like in New York.
found the
It's just you
interstate.
see it the entire way.
Literally.
So it's like an interstate basically.
Wow.
Okay, get on.
Well, this is a place where you don't walk. This is not the sands, I'll say that. But
Oh.
this is a place where you had to walk. It's just like a road.
Oh.
But the sands, everywhere you see orange or, sand color is sand.
Okay.
It shifts around.
Well, no, why not walk down this way then?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I'll say two things. One, Turlon, give me a will save for me.
We
And
came up
then-
out of the ground, by the way. Was there anybody that was like, holy shit, where did those guys come from?
They're coming out of the ground.
Some people probably looked
Will
over.
save.
Will
worry about
save.
it.
Some people were.
Fuck.
Don't worry about it. Some people were kind of looking over.
Fuck
I'd
off.
say
I'm used to my hero point. I don't want to get a 5 in the roll. Fuck you.
Oh,
it's worse. It's
Natural
worse.
twenty.
It's worse than natural 20.
Natural 20.
that's
Get out of my
definitely
head.
not
Get out of my
Damn
head.
it.
Get out of my head.
Damn.
the heat. It's the heat that's getting to them.
Make him roll another will save.
Yeah.
Make it a second one.
That's not the result I wanted.
Oh!
I'll say that for just a brief moment, Trelawn, as you're kind of looking around, you look to the north and you feel just an ever so faint, sharp pain within your head in the middle of your forehead. But you shake it off and you continue traveling westward.
I'm aware of that. Like, I don't like forget it. I'm like, I'm
You
aware of that.
know that happened, but nothing else happens. Just for a moment, you're just like, oh, that kind of hurt.
About a
but-
minute later, I'm gonna like put my hand to the stone in one of my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Do I feel the same pain again?
Mhm.
that I
Forgot
felt
about the
earlier?
goddamn stone.
Yes,
Oh.
you feel some a little bit within your
Ah,
forehead.
that sucks. I'm gonna.
Gosh, okay, I might have to make a will saving throw to talk about this. Nope, not. As we're walking, I'm gonna like kind of fall back. I'm not trying to hide from John. It's just like I don't necessarily care to explain this. I looked to Felix and Vita. Do you remember that stone I had or have?
Yep, it was a day ago. Sorry.
That's
But
true.
yes,
Yeah.
I do remember. I do
was
remember very
yesterday.
much so. It was yesterday.
Give me a goddamn break. Like you haven't been acting like it's been 20 days.
I haven't. I've been perfect.
No,
Yeah.
wrong. Check
Correct.
recording. I look at the stone, or I look toward my pocket. Earlier, while we were talking, I fiddled to the stone and I felt a pain in my head right here.
That's
And
awful.
I swear, just now,
What?
moments ago, I swear to God, I swear to the
You
God,
too?
I felt a pain in my
You're
head,
fucking kidding me.
right here, same pain, same feeling, same spot, and I don't know how to put it into words, but it was like it was coming from the north, but we know that stupid
There's
greenway is.
probably something coming out of your head, is what I'm gonna guess.
So Vito,
I'm
when you
sorry.
say you,
What do you mean
when-
out of my head?
when you say you too, Vito, what does that mean?
Well, I'd say probably within the last day or so, I also discovered something that caused me a little bit of pain in the center of my forehead. Just I've been feeling the same thing.
Okay.
So you felt the pain randomly, or you discovered something that gave you the pain?
I think I know what mine. I think it's a new ability that I've learned.
Okay.
So,
So it's
Okay.
not ability that you're more worried about this pain. When I felt it, I was like, wait a minute, it's like a new muscle I can flex.
Oh
all right,
man.
I don't know. I'll try to flex the forehead muscle dot in my head. Can I flex it like Venus says I should be able to?
We're saying this while we're getting a ride on the sands.
Yeah,
Bus.
just
Yeah.
pretend
Sand
we're
bus.
going.
We're moving.
Yes. Yeah, and also, John, you start to hear the conversation because it becomes a lot less just like whispering, a lot more pain in the
I
head.
just-
You try.
We're not
I just
excluding
stare
him. We're
over.
just not really.
Mm-hmm.
Got a concussion?
Yeah. Have you been hit in the head? I don't think so.
What? Can I flex it like he says I should be able to?
You don't. You
Flex
try
it
and
in
you
the
try and
Can't flex
flex.
it?
You're doing.
Yeah,
You're doing this, and it's not doing anything.
That's it.
What?
What if
What do you?
Turling give themselves a brain aneurysm?
I said, what are you talking about, Vita?
Well, I don't want to do it yet, but I'm pretty sure if it's when like you can feel it, you can do something, and you like know you can go further,
What do
but
you
you
feel
like
like you can do? And
I feel like
is
that
it
I can
actually
make.
related? Is it actually related to this?
I don't know.
It's-
I legitimately feel like if I keep going further and flex it, I can make something come out of my head. But I
Right.
don't
Don't
want to
do
do it
that.
right now.
Do it.
That
Do it
It's
sounds
right now.
probably
gross,
no.
dude.
Do not do that.
But
It's
I
probably
I
something
like
different.
can feel
Do it.
that. I'm pretty sure I can do that.
That sounds
So,
gross.
I do think it's something different, but can we get back to the main picture at hand here? I'm worried the
Yes.
stone is connected to this.
What's
I-
this
yeah,
about a
I
stone?
thought it was the same thing.
I like sigh.
We
You know what?
bus
Never
ride
mind.
over. We fill him in.
It's none of my business.
I tell John, I found a stone at some point, and it does strange things. Suffice to say, that's all I want to explain.
Wait a minute, John, grab the stone.
I look at Vita. Fuck you. I don't say that, but I do look at Vita like.
John, grab it for real. You're stronger than us.
I look over at Felix.
Felix and I
Yeah.
talked about this. We were gonna get Alden to help, but he died, and I forgot about it.
Do I need to roll, or is it just obvious that I take out my sword because this thing fucking hates me?
Yeah. You. The stone.
If I
You're
kill
not.
this character, this is on you.
You are not. Your stone is not out right now, so you feel no will, but you do, like you're acting like now. You do know that if there's a real effort made for this stone, you're gonna defend yourself.
I'd say, John, you see me look immediately on guard, like I stands up and I
You
just
see
like,
what happens? He won't let us touch it.
Okay, well,
pretty
you should have been a bit, just from an outsider's perspective, if you wanted to grab it, you probably should have been sneakier about it than just asking a stranger to kind of grab it.
Well,
And now now
Yeah.
they're aware. Now they're aware that you're going to go for it.
I feel like we might as well just do it now that they're aware.
I'm not going to attack a stranger. I just met this person. And I'm supposed to work with them.
Okay.
We could deal with this later.
There's a certain
Stone is
aspect of-
obviously hurting Turlan.
Yes. We'll voice that to them before you just ask me to ask some hired muscle to tackle them.
I'm like
Okay.
totally with the stone more in my pocket now.
Is
Oh,
this
wait.
how level-headed you people usually are?
No.
Thought you would
Nope.
listen.
Not far from it. Just Felix, Vida. I just
Yeah?
wish to be careful about this
Alden
stone.
would go for it. John won't. I'll tell you that right now.
I know. He doesn't know you.
Picturing all
We're
the
gonna get
thing
off
like,
to do this.
Have any of you felt a pain like that in your foreheads before? For the reason that isn't whatever this magic thing is, Vida?
nope, never in
No.
my life.
No.
We should keep an eye on that.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe it's just a thought.
Felix, roll a perception check for me.
I want to do
Fuck.
it so bad.
Just while we're
Fuck.
walking, we're almost at the sand. Don't worry, we're
I
gonna
can't
get to
do
the
it.
sand soon.
Yeah, what it makes sense.
Are you fucking with me? 19.
I'll say as you are. Yeah, this is crazy rolls. I'll say as you are
Crazy bad.
as you're walking along, Felix, and having this conversation, you notice out of the corner of your eye that some people are kind of look at you, like they kind of like like you're walking by, and some people glance, but. And you've been in like Riddock, you've been in more populated places. People kind of glance at you, but I'll say, Felix, you kind of notice specifically that people look at you for a good second or two before they just kind of look away.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I called you Felix out loud. Fuck off, dumbass. Fucking.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Can't go back now.
Well, guys, hold on. Give me a second. What?
That's what
Turlan
Turlan
just
does.
melted.
Fuck are you
Turlan
screaming?
just- yeah,
Even
Turlan
more
just got
people started
vaporized.
I am screaming, Kevin! It's
Oh,
I
screaming!
know,
Okay,
I
okay.
know.
So there's literally no buildings here, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of tents, a whole bunch of people walking around. Some places are more crowded than others, white floors, but you see all these vines kind of in the distance as you're getting closer.
Okay, give me like 1 second, guys. I want to go duck between a tent, some tents where people can't really see me.
Okay.
Oh,
And,
wait. The sand's taking me away.
No, we're not
You're
there
on the
yet.
sand. Almost at the same.
Okay. Wait a minute. So I gained a 3rd level spell slot. Do I have to prepare another spell there, like daily preparations, or do I get one?
I'll say you can put one in.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, this spell takes a minute. I'm like, give me a minute or two. Got to do something to blend in.
Do not come out as a gorilla.
I'm not blend. I will not come out as a gorilla. That's very conspicuous.
Mhm.
I will cast Threefold Aspect.
Okay.
So I will choose the Matriarch Age, or Patriarch, I guess.
Okay.
So I look like an old man version of myself.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, choose when you cast a spell. While the spell lasts, you can change the age to any of the 3 or to your natural age by sustaining the spell. Your form always looks like you regardless of the age, and creatures who know you still recognize you and can tell your age is different.
Felix.
They know me, so the people that are looking for me do not know me.
Fuck.
Guys.
Alden.
Alden.
So yeah, I return and I look like an old man version of myself.
Alden, what happened?
Is that what you really look like?
No, I cast a spell.
Oh, okay.
We'll be fine, probably.
But
It'll
so
take like
you
an
look
extra
that way,
second.
but are you physically that way?
No,
Okay,
I am
good.
not.
That'd be pretty awful.
It'd be pretty terrible, yeah.
A lot of old people die in this sand and they can't keep up.
I don't doubt it.
No, it's good to know.
Alrighty,
It's good to
Wow.
let's go. I'm Alden. Let's go.
know. All right. Do you all try and cross the brown thing first, or like the giant interstate first, or do you just go on up the side?
I realize that the museum is on the other side,
Yeah.
and you know how some
Wait.
people in
I thought it was the Tower of.
Yeah, it's on the other
Yeah.
side of the interstate, though. You're gonna have to cross it.
you know how some people just kind of in different countries will just cross the street with like because there's like no traffic
Because they
laws.
just don't look. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yep.
just because it's like there's no one respects like the traffic laws. John is just gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna kind of start walking across, just assuming that some people will like stop
I'll
Mm-hmm.
follow.
and like
Yeah.
weave.
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh shit.
Yeah. You all start going through. I'd like you to roll a. If you all are going through, I'd like you to roll. A great question.
What is on this street? There's no cars.
It's like, yeah, there are. I'll say as we're going through this, there are carts and, that are just going at meandering paces. But you'll also see that. I'll say you all also see those snake creatures that you
Yeah.
all may have talked about, where it's just kind of these larger, like a 4 foot tall, kind of like cobra, stance, and then a whole like a long tail that a bunch of people are going by, and those are going pretty quickly, and so it's decently crowded at this time of day. But I'd like you all to roll a I don't know. Give me an acrobatics check, all of you.
How? Hey John, how good is your acrobatics?
Plus 13.
What the fuck is my acrobatics?
Yeah, isn't there like a thing where I can?
Yeah, I
lead
was gonna say
people?
I was going to do follow your lead or follow the leader. So I was looking up. You better be better on easy tools. Yeah. Fucking follow.
Bro is turning purple right before our very eyes.
Burper.
The purple.
The incredible
called?
thing. Here's the thing.
Where
Why
is it?
is it not? Okay. Looking for it. Whatever.
Here's the key thing to remember.
Fucking chimp image.
So are we rolling to
Follow the expert. Follow the expert.
cross the street
Mhm.
like perpendicular, or just to navigate through this busy street down towards the museum?
Perpendicular. You're trying to cross the street.
Crossing the
Okay.
street. It is hard.
Yeah.
I got my roll. 21.
I got mine.
I'll say it's not looking good for you, Vita.
What?
So, do I have to do anything for
Just
follow
a
the
street,
expert?
bro.
Vita gets in a car crash.
I'm just gonna follow the expert on John. I'll just follow his lead.
Okay.
I don't know what I have to do for that. I thought I had to do something. Fuck.
Is this like a feat you have?
No, it's just an ability.
Yeah, it's
You can
Pathfinder
do.
ability. It's an exploration action, which is supposed to just like make it easy if there's someone who's doing something that can lead other people. Basically, you just take their role.
Easy tools is broken. Let's go.
I'll say I don't know if that will apply here in this case, just because it is very much a you thing in terms of if you're able to.
Not to be a dickhead, but this rule is for that exact thing. I have
an
no acrobatics.
exploration.
Yeah, it's
Exploration is just anything that isn't.
Yeah, it's
Combat or
lacking
diplomacy,
at a
right?
skill or exploration activity.
basically, thanks to your allies' assistance, you add your level as a proficiency bonus to the associated skill check. So you're untrained in the skill, but you add your level at least because you're following the leader, so you're doing
okay.
how they're directing you.
Okay, I do still have to make a roll. I didn't see that part. Good.
Gotcha. Okay, then yeah. Like, that's what I was mostly against. It's just
Okay.
there's a roll aspect to it, so you can have a +8 because you're level 6 now.
Okie dokie.
Based.
It's good to know for future stealth things.
Circumstance. Roll. You're fucking me. Whatever.
Ah,
I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna re-roll it.
No, stay with me.
They're both get to run over.
Alright, fine. No, this is a stupid roll to reroll. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Both of you, as you're trying to cross, you get about halfway through, and
Look out!
you line up. And
Rampaging snake.
You both look to your left, and you see a gigantic snake that's just barreling. It's one of these speedsters. You're just not used to this kind of animal, nor this place, or this many people. I'd like you both to roll a reflex save.
Good God.
How wide is this road again? You say 25 feet?
25 feet? No, this is
It's one square, right?
it's 250 feet.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yes, 250 feet.
Okay.
Okay, Felix, you are able to dodge out of the way with a critical success. But
Can I do something to help Vita since I got a crit?
yeah, since you got a crit, I'll say that you can move Vita to a success and kind of like move him slightly out of the way, but he's still going to take half damage.
Okay.
But you kind of
Really
get
just got hit
pulled
by a
back
car.
you got pulled back by
First
Felix.
automobile death in Sumia.
But your let's see. How did I determine this? 1 second. Yeah. It's not a lot of damage, but it's just for fun. Okay,
Roll
you'll take
3d10.
yes. You'll take half damage.
1d10 for every 100 pounds the snake weighs.
Oh.
Slides into you.
Oh,
But you get your feet kind of hit, and it kind of hurts your ankle a little bit. But
Oh.
Felix thankfully
My
pulled
gut
you out of the
literally
way.
foot.
thanks. Oh, they're
These
so
people are-
fast.
Yeah, these people are very rude. Terrible drivers.
I was right there.
Once you guys are on the other side, I'm like, that was harrowing.
Yeah, we're fine.
Is there a way to get from one side to the other without doing that?
I looked at. Is there like a crosswalk somewhere?
You haven't
50
yet to
feet down.
you haven't yet to encounter one, John.
Okay. I usually just wing it. I haven't really found anything.
Yeah.
Huh?
Does that ever get anyone seriously injured?
Yeah, sometimes.
Just got to keep your wits about you.
Kinda
Yeah,
gotta
it's fine.
be
it's fine.
cautious.
It's an
Well,
allegory
we're on the
for
right
artists, but
side
it's-
now.
Yeah, you're on
Yeah.
the good side. Okay.
Now
Now
we can go.
you all notice that as soon as you've crossed and you're trying to looking at the sands, you can see probably like there's just some sand for maybe about 100, 200 feet, but then you'll notice that just the sand throughout this entire area is kind of shifting. And some parts of it are faster than others, and you'll see that you look in the distance that there are people just straight up kind of walking, but it looks like they're walking like faster than a normal person would walk. It's like almost like those speedsters or those like horizontal conveyor belts. Yeah, exactly.
At airports, yeah.
At airports, it's like that, but some parts are pretty quick. Like it looks like they're almost gliding, but it almost looks like it's kind of difficult to do. I'll say, John, from your experience, you can sit on these no problem, and it's kind of just moving around. You have no idea how the sand is moving at all, but you know that it does move. But if you want to walk on them, it's a little bit more difficult, especially the further you're trying to travel.
I looked at Vita's
Let's take the
ankle.
bus.
Are you okay? Is your leg okay? Do you want to walk or do you want to sit or?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I want to sit. It's
I
a
see
long ass
tears.
walk.
I see tears in Vita's eyes.
Fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'll just do whatever. I'm fine.
Purple and swollen. Felix
Not
His foot is
resistant to
already
bludgeoning
fucked up.
damage.
Yeah, I want to get on the sand bus.
Okay. Is everybody just
Yeah.
sitting?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I get the window seat.
I'll say that there's some moments where you all are going to the tower of the Visir Ultra, yes, for the museum.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll say as you all are going, you have to kind of change paces or places, you know, like it starts to kind of careen away from going west. You have to
A couple
get off and, you know, go to another
layovers.
patch of sands. Yeah, exactly. So, but as you're weaving in and out, I'll just say, since you kind of get out of the area that is, because Awade is almost like practically right on the equator. And so on that central interstate area, there's a whole lot. I'm going to stop the crowd. Y'all are no longer in crowds. But, you know, the interstate is kind of almost along the direction of the sun. So as you all are traveling now within within these vines, it doesn't get dark ever, for sure. It's just a perfectly clear sky. In fact, it's kind of odd to you all, to the three of you, because you haven't experienced the storm at all, as you all have been here. So I'll say that kind of pops into your mind. You're not entirely sure where the storm is or what's happening, but you can't see anything around it. But as you all are traveling through these vines, it is, I can't put into words how just tremendously large they are. I wish I had been able to do the artwork. And I'll send it a little bit later and show it in the next session for the YouTube viewers. But I think that, these these vines are as thick as city blocks, right? And they are as tall as skyscrapers. So it's almost like you're interweaving through a little bit more sparse New York City, but it's just these gigantic green stalks that are shooting into the air. And these leaves are, as you can see how big of the squares they take, they are like, some of them are, 300 feet long and like 100 feet wide. And they're just across these various areas. There's these wooden staircases and ladders that kind of lead up to the various areas. And some, I'll say, as you're traveling, you can notice that some of the vines, a good amount of them actually, have entrances within the vine itself. So not only does it look like there are structures and people on the leaves themselves, but there may even be more within. I'll say, John, you've experienced this. We've gone within some of the vines, and it's just an intricate network of, most of the insides of the vines are more residential, whereas the leaves are more commercial kind of based things. So a lot of people live within these vines, and that's kind of the normal place for you to live and work out of if you were not at the Vein Breakers. But
like
you
the
all...
shoots at Metro Nui.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wade. Property law. You cannot have residential buildings on the leaves.
Exactly. But you all start to travel, and I'll say that just kind of you're weaving in and out of the vines, but you get towards, man, look at how slow that is. How slow you all are going. That's just how big this place is. But as you all are going, you eventually get to a very similar kind of central hub area. But this appears to be a different hub. You can see on the map it's called the Vasira hub. But you see now to your south, as you kind of careen around this vine here, you see to your south multiple things. One, you are looking now up a hill that is probably 300 feet high that's gradually going up. You see this gigantic staircase that is leading up, made of this similar kind of white material, chiseled up this staircase as it leads to this humongous tower is the best way of describing it. It is this, as you were looking, it looks like almost like the Pyramid of Giza in terms of it has this base that is hundreds and hundreds of feet wide, thousands of feet wide. And it kind of has these large blocks that go up it, probably, a good, like 150 feet up. And then just in the center, there is a very large, wide, almost as wide as the vines around, tower that goes even taller than the vines themselves. It actually is a little bit staggering as you've seen these vines around you and you've maybe gotten a little bit used to it, but as soon as you see this tower, it seems to go up for, it's as if you were looking at like the Burj Khalifa, right? It just goes shooting high into the sky. And you almost have to crane your neck a little bit to look at the top. But it's this perfect cylinder. And I'll say the last thing that you notice as you turn this corner is that you can kind of see it on the map, but there's these little like tendril looking things. There are spurts of this bright orange sand, almost like deep red orange, like this hot looking sand that you can see kind of goes up the pyramid base, and then up the tower, kind of in these circular patterns, and it looks like it's lights that are kind of pulsing as it is going up this tower. It's a immense sight, but you can only guess that this is the tower of Seer Ultra.
Is it the same like color of orange as Garabi's sand? His glass?
You're not close enough to see it, but it's certainly reminiscent of it.
All
But-
right.
Grabby.
You guys know
Always in our
Grabby?
minds.
You guys
Yeah, we know
Grabby?
Grabby. How do you know?
I
know this.
don't.
Yeah, I met Grabby.
Also, at some point during the ride over, John took off his Veinbreaker standard, is now just wearing his yellow one,
Mm.
and there's a crudely drawn fist on
So
the center of it,
Like it was drawn with like pencils or like painted on. correctly?
painted on with black
Mhm.
paint.
Do I recognize the symbol?
I just tell you straight up, this isn't anything. I just drew this. This is just me.
Nice. That's like your
Cool.
symbol, your go-to.
I just use a fist, yeah, like a gauntlet, like this. You know what I mean? Like, bam.
Nice.
Is it just for you? Do you have a group, or is it just you?
Just me, just
Can
John.
we use it?
I guess sure, yeah.
Okay.
Feels like
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it's more of a John thing. It's his.
Oh.
Maybe if we earn it.
I mean, you can if you want. I mean, it's up to you. But like,
I don't need it.
All right.
All
I
I
mean, if you
gotta
want
say is
to, but-
Alden needs to go in third in a row
Alden.
to this place
Okay.
Why third?
because they're a high priority target, and if they're in the
Sure.
back, then they can be
Should
taken
be
out
nice.
easier.
Is there a
Right.
stream of
Right.
sand that will bring us
I
up
wasn't
these
sure.
stairs, or do we have to walk it?
Like everything's the stairs. Doesn't seem like the sand goes up the hills like that.
I agree with not being the front or the
Fucking
back.
up a mile of stairs.
I have a mile of
Kung
stairs.
Fu
Hold
Panda.
on.
It's
Alright.
literally the fucking hunter exam.
Are you
Okay.
shitting me?
Are walking in single file.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Does everyone have water?
Pilgrimage to the Tower of Visir Ultra. Holy.
Oh no, I forgot water.
No, I have extras. Here you go.
Thank
I
you.
created
don't
water
need any.
before we left.
Just making sure you guys are all right.
So what? John in front. Turlon, you want second or do you want the rear?
I think the rear.
All right, I'll go second.
Reminder:
Oh,
you
yeah.
can cast spells through me if you need to,
Yes.
Including-
Oh, I know.
including one must shudder to think of it. You're a thing that makes things come out of your head.
Oh lord.
I don't think I could do that to you, but maybe.
Well, here's to hoping you're right.
We'll see.
That's all I'll say.
I
We'll
look
see.
back at Vita and go, "How's that ankle doing?"
It's fine. I'm
Didn't-
just you
didn't
can
think
see
that bad
Vita
of it,
just
did
sort
you?
of like looking up at these stairs, just like
You
holy
you look
fuck.
like you're low on blood
Oh,
sugar. You need
oh,
anything?
We
Need
could,
a little snack?
you could have a shrink candy and we could carry you.
It's so true. Just take
Okay.
off all your clothes first.
No,
What
no,
is worth-
no.
Well, I was joking. It would
Oh.
actually, this would be a situation if we need to
Oh.
sneak someone in where one of these.
What would
stands
happen
is
if you
destroyed.
rubbed the candy on
not saying we
someone's like
do.
clothing? Okay.
I
All
don't
right,
know,
never mind.
actually.
Do
Make
you
them
want-
just a little
do you-
smaller.
Do you want them to try?
No, let's do it later at the before we're sleeping tonight.
We should definitely not do that in public.
Yeah.
We'll do it later.
Would you
Start
say we-
rubbing candies on ourselves.
Awful.
Okay. I start walking up the stairs.
Get to walk
We
in.
start our arduous half-mile stair master
Oh.
exercise. Jesus.
Give me an athletics check, everybody.
30, 20.
Nice.
I want to do. No. I want to do a reroll on that because we're probably gonna end soon here.
I got a 2, so I'm gonna use the Rattler before you tell me how I fall down the
Same.
stairs.
I'm gonna who gives a shit?
Oh, I
I'm
got
gonna
a 2 as well. Well, I dropped down to an 18, so it wasn't a dirty 20. Oh, someone got a nat 20.
Hero points and add 20 to walk up the stairs.
Let's go, dude. So stupid.
Dumb.
So 18. Okay.
God, look at all the goddamn like bonuses to athletics. 2, 5, 2, 16.
Jesus. I need to. Yeah. We should do athletics.
The gang spends 40 minutes getting up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like 3 p.m. It's already been 2 hours of travel.
Oh my god.
Just get us in there.
Mm-hmm.
This place sucks. God.
Not a walkable city by any means.
Hell no.
And you all did just travel like 6 miles.
There are definitely people on one end of the city that have never been to the other end.
Yeah, this is a mega
I've never
city.
left my literally I've never left this block of my city. Well,
We
how
call
big
them
is
never
it?
had-
Eastenders and Westerners.
I've never had to leave my vine.
Exactly. I mean,
It's so frightening.
these vines are.
They're like fucking
Crazy.
mega towers.
Yep. Yeah, this is a population of like tens of millions.
Crazy.
That's the mega cities of Sumia for you.
What the fuck?
Fuck. Bounce with it, drop with it, with it, with it, with it. If you guys need a piggyback, let me know.
I'll be
I
fine.
don't mind the challenge. I don't mind the challenge. I welcome it. This is good exercise for today.
Get your steps in.
Well, I haven't done cardio in a while, so.
Yeah, it happens.
Hello, John.
So that was making him speak like a shonen protagonist when he speaks Elvish is
It's really
fantastic.
broken.
That's
I
awesome.
wanted it to sound like he was a dub, and the only person that came to mind was Rock Lee.
Let's go.
So he doesn't use like consonants or anything. Not consonants. He doesn't use conjunctions.
Yep.
I would not do that if I were you.
I tripped and hit my fucking forehead yet.
I will say that about halfway up, it's starting to get fucking hard. You have never walked up this many stairs. None of you have, but I'll say, Turlon, the fragility of your body, it was not built for this kind of physical activity, and it's just in the sun, and it's just not feeling good. But yeah,
Sorry, you know what's crazy is the fact that Felix like looks older than all of us, but he's doing the second best or the first best, I guess now. Yeah, first best.
Mm-hmm. One moment, let me just make sure I understand. Is there something? Okay, here we are.
I still have this crowd sound playing, the voices in my head that won't stop.
I hear.
Remind you of anyone?
I stopped the crowd sounds.
Remind you of anyone?
I get stare sounds.
Let me rage.
Stare sounds.
I must rage. I must fear.
Craig, you're muted.
My soldiers rage.
Is it just us on this fucking staircase?
It's got to be just you guys. But
Completely
I fall all the way
empty?
down.
No, it is not. There's people walking up and down, but I'll say some people are actually walking a little bit faster than you all are. Just, you kind of getting slow. And that's kind of what this athletics check. That's kind of like what this athletics check is kind of going for, is how long it takes you all, and just kind of how like out of breath y'all are going to be. And I think that if you all want to stay as a group, you all kind of notice that Turlon is kind of keeping the group back a little bit, isn't able to keep up with pace.
I'm going ahead.
Do you all continue?
No.
You want to grab Turlon? Take him up?
I say, do you want to piggyback to Turlon? I can carry you. I can wait a second.
I stop, sort of like breathe a little heavy. So I haven't climbed stairs like this in a while. Normally I would be not so sure.
about someone giving me a piggyback ride just on principle, but you seem like you might be strong enough.
I can do it.
Can't you just teleport with your mirror up?
Yeah, but only at 15 feet bursts. I mean,
Oh.
I look up at the stairs. It's not like
Burst.
it's a simple thing without any energy to it. It takes a bit of physical and mental exhaustion to use.
Oh.
It'd be probably
Okay.
just as tiring as walking up the stairs, although much cooler.
Okay. I like squat a little bit.
But on
I
the
say,
opposite side of cool, I hop on
I say,
John's
all right,
back.
get on.
I'm pretty light, so I hope this isn't too cumbersome.
Oh no, it's fine. It makes the cardio better.
I hop right the fuck on his back.
All right, John, give me an athletics check with a -4 circumstance
Please.
bonus.
Please drop me. Please drop me. It'd be so funny.
See how well John does. Whoa, that was almost a nat 1.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Wow.
crazy. Fall
But
down the stairs like all the way back to the bottom.
Knocking us all down.
Yeah.
I'll say, Turlon, you are, your legs are thankful for the fact that you're being carried right now, because John, practically faster than before, just starts carrying Turlon up the stairs. And, as Vita, as you started going ahead, John has now caught up with you all with Turlon on his back.
Is this easy for you? Surely this can't be easy for you.
Oh no, it's actually easier than before for some reason.
Huh.
I don't
More
know what
motivated.
it is. I
That's
guess I'm
impressive.
motivated now.
Keep up
He's
the
in
good work.
workout mode.
Workout mode, yeah.
Yeah.
You all, yeah.
Feel the back of my neck. I'm not even sweating.
Is he sweating?
It's sweating, but you can tell that it's more from the sun than the workout.
And
It
you
weighed
feel
nothing
naked.
to him.
Yeah, you're breathing heavy.
Wow.
I say, well, it's impressive.
There we go.
But
Vita,
you
sure you
all
don't look
We
enjoy
did it. We did it.
sure
Fine.
did.
You can swap out if you want to ride.
I'm fine. You seem to be having a lot of fun with this.
I like not. Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. I'll say you all make it to the top, and it was tiring. I'll say, John, you feel good. Feel like you got your workout in for the day.
That was a good warm up.
Yeah, good warm up, exactly.
Who is this guy?
I fucking love John. But
I'm
the whole time, are you wearing your helmet?
I didn't take it off once.
Didn't take it off. God, must be steaming in there. So
Yeah.
Anyway, you all make it to the top, and I'll say that you all are quite tired. It probably took a good half an hour to get up these stairs, just from the distance of it, but also the stair climb of it. But you make it to the top, and like I said, this is kind of just, it's like, I don't know if y'all been to the Pentagon, but it's like looking at the Pentagon where you just look to the left and the right, and you can just see it's like the wall is just the entire building, but it goes back so much further. You just look to the left and the right, and you can see just this 50-foot wall, and you can see it's made out of an intricate design of, not only just like this orange brick, but also just made out of glass along the corners of it. So probably a good 2/3 of it is just this orange brick that has various engravings in it, but then the top third is just this orange glass layer that appears to go 50 feet up and then goes back some ways before there's just a whole other layer. But it looks like as you get to the top of the stairs, there is just a large entrance into this first floor, it looks like, of this tower. And as you all enter this building, you are now on the inside. It looks like, I'll say this, you enter, and I don't have it with me, but you see that there's just an intricate map of this first floor of the tower. And it looks like it's a whole bunch of various rooms. I mean, it's a large space. It seems to be intricately mapped out where it's kind of concentric squares going in, where along the outside are various shops and things like that. Whereas you get more in, there are, office spaces, and it looks like there's people milling around. But I will say that it looks like there's also a bunch of people here that look like, maybe tourist is the wrong word, but certainly someone here who's just looking at the sights. There's the people here that seem to be going somewhere, like they have some place to be, and then there's the people that are just milling around, kind of looking at the map, talking to each other.
They're from down the street. They've never been to this part of the city
Exactly. They're either from Oade or they're from out. It seems to be directly connected to the interstate, so this seems to be the popping place. But you do notice on the map that one kind of corner section of it in the southeast. I don't know why I mix up east and west so much. The southeast of the building on this floor, there appears to be a museum.
Let's go.
Awesome. You all
I've
go.
never seen anything like this building before.
Yeah, none of you have. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's how most buildings are to me. Honestly, we've gone to a lot of weird places.
It's really refreshing to have your fresh eyes. It's really great.
Fresh eye.
That's my bad. Yeah, fresh eye.
Or eyes.
What?
I really
Do you
like,
not know
We'll
if you
find out later.
I feel like Vita's been acting legitimately different this session. It's actually
do you not know if you
Something
actually
happened to
lost
him.
the eye?
He
What?
ate something funny.
Something happened to him that he learned.
What?
You didn't
Never
say that.
mind,
You
man.
don't know it. We're going to the museum.
We go to the museum.
We go to the museum.
We go to the
But his
museum.
museum with my good friend Vita, who surely has nothing wrong right now with him.
Probably fine.
As you all make it to the museum, kind of around was kind of hustling, bustling, and I'll say that something that you noticed is part of the museum is some of it is an art museum and some of it is like a historical museum. So it looks like the part that you just entered is like the art museum, and it kind of gets quiet as art museums do. You kind of enter and it kind of has this air of where it should kind of remain quiet, and you see various paintings as you pass by. If you all want to take any more in-depth looks at them, you can, but you see various paintings, some portraits as you're walking. All you just all kind of see just from a glance. It kind of has this artwork style where it seems a lot of it is very glass based. It's almost like either the pictures are made out of glass and various colored glasses, or the paintings themselves are distorted as if looking through glass. There's a lot of glass themes. It
Do I
seems
see
like
any
as you're
purple
walking.
people? I'm just going to glance.
You're glad. Give me a perception check.
Purple people catch my eye.
He's acting weird because he's got that blue beam flashing on him this whole game.
Where is it? I don't see it.
Suffering from a beam attack.
As
Oh,
soon
you
as I
stopped
mentioned it, stopped it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it does
I'm
it.
trying to get screenshots of it, and I can't.
I'm just gonna
Where's the
scream
beam?
beam attack when I see it.
Beam attack.
Try beam.
I'm looking now.
I'm looking. The mouth. Hey, everybody, watch the Sumia Memories one shot.
Quick
To your
plug.
parents.
Quick plug. As you are looking throughout, you don't see purple people per se, but you do notice that there are some people that certainly do have irregular skin tones. You see some that have kind of this greener skin tone. You see some that have a blue skin tone. You see some, and portraits of, maybe from your mind, Vita, you would have assumed to be an animal of some sort, but appears to be some kind of actual person. And as you're looking around, there are people of various colors. No one distinctly purple. I'll say the closest you get is there's someone that is pink, kind of like a hot pink color.
It's not too
It's
bad.
cool, but I don't care.
Princess Bubblegum.
I will say, as you all enter what appears to be the museum, the historical museum that you're kind of looking at just for the history of Oade, as you enter, you there is this. Yeah, let me rewind. As you enter, you kind of enter this large room that is, maybe 100 feet by 100 feet across, and it looks like just throughout this room are just little pedestals of various things. You kind of see murals along the wall, and it appears like, people are more talking in here, and you get approached by someone wearing this bright orange robe saying, welcome, and it's this, this kind of middle-aged woman who is, as you're looking at her, I'll say this actually, the first thing you all notice is that it almost looks like she has like orange irises as she kind of looks at you all, which is a little bit off-putting, but not like, and it's not like glaring or like evil looking. It's just like she just has orange eyes, which is something you all haven't seen before. And she says, well, welcome you all to the museum for OAID. We talk here about all the various priests we have here in OAID. Do you have any questions? Are you looking for anything in specific?
We're interested in
Talking old man voice. Talking old man voice.
No. You can imagine I'm doing it in character. I don't want to do that. We're looking for like history of the Greenway.
Yeah, history of the
right?
Greenway.
The Greenway District?
Yeah,
Yes, the history of the modern and as much as you have.
just the whole Greenway section.
And she kind of raises her eyebrows and she says, well, we have a whole section over here dedicated to that. And she'll kind of point her hand to a corner. And I'm going to say that for this session, that's where we're going to end.
Okay.
Just for a little bit of an early ending, but I will say that I wasn't able to prepare as much for this session. Like I said, I got a lot more things in mind.
Library materials next week.
So as soon as you all, for our next session, I will have a lot more for the museum prepared, similar to how in the previous museum for Riddock, there was a little bit more to bite into. I'll also get a nice little artwork done of what these vines really look like, just to kind of get a sense of the scale.
Fuck yeah.